I wanted to try something different. I'm here to talk to you about re-engineering the enterprise. And you're probably thinking to yourselves, Chris is an astronomer, but has he been in a different planet for the last week? I mean, re-engineering the enterprise, really? Is that what we should be doing right now? My goal today is to convince you that now is actually the best time to re-engineer the enterprise. Why? Times of great turbulence. That's when good management teams can peel away from inferior management teams. That's when you can really tell the difference. In good times, everybody looks good. Everybody's kind of average. But it's at these times that a company can really leap forward. The problem with turbulence, though, is that in your company, you employ people. And there are people first and employees second. And the problem is that we all have a human instinct to freeze when faced with turbulence and great unknowns. And you, as a leader, must acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that it's okay for your employees to be worried about whether or not they're going to need a visa to stay here, or whether or not their pension, their parents' pension is safe or not. Those are all very valid concerns, and you should acknowledge them. But standing isn't an option. You simply have to say, hey, dude, you're going to freeze if you stay there, that guy. So what's called for is disciplined thought and action. And let me explain this. But first, I want to take you to the picture. That is a star. It's called the sun. And if you look carefully, it has a little round thing in front of it. In the middle of all this turbulence, I was able to take a picture of Venus crossing the sun. It's called a transit. The next one will happen in the year 2117 or something like that. And just as the sun was setting, I saw Venus in all its glory. Times of turbulence bring great opportunity, and this is the time. This is what every CEO wishes their company looked like. Agile, completely aligned with each other. There's one small problem with this. Fish don't have CEOs. So how do they do this? I've learned from marine scientists that actually they delegate the turning to whichever fish has the most information. And then that fish makes the move. And then for the next turn, it's a different fish. That's complete meritocracy, right? It's a self-collected group of individuals, all who rely on the most informed fish. CEOs sometimes don't like it when I talk that way. They would prefer that the company look like this. This is really difficult. This is collaboration to the nth power. This is really, really difficult. Collaboration is one of the hardest things a management team can attempt. It's just so much easier to ignore each other. It's so much easier. It's actually more fun to compete with each other. And how do you, if that's your goal, how do you do it when your starting point is this? A bunch of millennials, these are my kids, so I'm not blaming millennials in general. A bunch of millennials just texting to each other. That doesn't look like they're going to do the parachute trick. Or when you don't have silos, you have fortresses, you have feudal lords guarding over the silos. How are you going to pull this off? So I'll tell you my advice, exactly the same advice that I give companies that I invest in. And first, above all, turbulent times call for disciplined thought and action. Come up with a plan, execute on the plan. Who's going to lead first? Who's going to go then? And then who is going to punch out and win the race? How do you do that? First, you unplug. I personally need an hour, hour and a half a day without any devices, and even better in an empty room, so I can think. You know, this is not a call to action, it's a call for disciplined thought and action. So, comment number one, unplug. Number two, this is a great time to flatten the organization. I'm not talking about removing layers, okay? That's called cutting costs. I'm talking about actually having an organization that is flat. I was the first Fortune 500 CEO to implement Yammer across all 26,000 employees. I reckon it added $1 billion of market cap. Why? Because when everybody was on the same level, it was really easy to see who the tall people were. It was really easy to see who was really contributing. And the feedback mechanism of having peers liking what you're doing, that was an extreme motivator. That's really cute, right? They're really comfy. Don't do this. This is a really bad idea. Look at them. They're all the same. This is what gets companies into trouble. Oh yeah, it's so comfortable to hire people that look just like you. I think we added $1 billion in market cap by being by far the most diverse of our competitors. And we added $1 billion market cap because we competed and we beat them because we had the most diverse workforce. Don't do this. This is a better model. Many different types of people, organisms. So you've connected people, but you haven't given them a voice. And later we'll be talking about giving employees a voice on transformation projects, on re-engineering projects. I think that is really key. You know, I love little kids when they go to sports, even if it's just them, because, you know, adults sometimes they cheer only when somebody scores a goal, but kids, they cheer along the way. You know, memo from the CEO to all staff. Today we landed a huge contract. Completely useless bit of information. You can't learn from that, the fact that we landed a $2 million contract. It is far more important for the CEO to be saying things along the way and cheering the progress along the way. So model yourself after the kids. And finally, if you are the CEO, you must treat yourself with some humility. You are not the lead in the play. You did not write the play. You are the stage manager. You make sure that all the props are there, that all the costumes are there. You don't even show up. You're not on stage. This is not about you. This is what builds a great company. Thank you very much.